Well, let's take you to this now. Chairperson of the Southern African Agri-Initiative, Dr Theo De Jager, says farmers are angered by the gazetting of export regulations in the Government Gazette. This comes after a City Press newspaper reported that South African farms deemed too white can no longer export their produce to the UK and the EU. Let's further this discussion now. Dr Theo De Jager joins us now. Thank you so much for your time, Dr De Jager. Now, talk to us about this latest Gazette and what it is that you are unhappy with, particularly because government says has rejected reports that new regulations have been introduced to restrict farm export quotas.
Thank you for the opportunity. At the end of October, government has published two gazettes on which it actually states that the BEE status of enterprises who wants to have a benefit for lower tariffs for exporting a small range of products, agricultural products, to specifically the EU and the UK. And family farmers are, of course, upset about this. And very few export farms fall below the cut-off turnover for BEE. But most of these farms are family farms. And it is difficult enough for a father to farm with his sons or cousins to farm together. What to say for a partner which is being forced onto such a family enterprise? Hence, as a representative of family farmers in South Africa of all sizes, as we feel that black economic empowerment should not apply to family farms. And there should be no ceiling for the turnover of an enterprise which seeks to export from farms to the EU and the UK. And although this is only applicable on a small range of products in the latest gazettes, nothing prohibits government to expand that list if we allow it in principle, or to expand the destinations for exports. Inside we say, even under the darkest days of apartheid, no enterprise was ever capped or put a ceiling on the turnover based on the color of skin.
Help us understand, Dr De Jager, because I'm looking at the statement now from the Department of Agriculture, and they're essentially saying that there's nothing new here, that the requirements are not new, and that in fact they mirror the previous year's requirements. The first point is that these requirements, there is no threshold or level that an applicant must reach to be awarded, a permit. The triple BEE status of the applicant is but one factor that must be considered in conjunction with all other factors. Help us understand then, in terms of what you are saying and in terms of what the department is saying, where the contention is.
If the BEE status of that enterprise does not matter, why is it a requirement? It's the very first requirement listed in the Government Gazette. And they are right, it is not new. But whether this arrangement is 2 years old, 3 years old, or 10 years old, for us, it is still a fundamental injustice.
So the DA, of course, has also come out saying that they will be taking this matter further. They will be looking at a legal recourse and also, of course, condemning government for this latest move. Are you in conversations with the DA? Is there something from your side that you will be doing as well to take government to task?
Yes. We are in conversation with 4 political parties at the moment who has the same mission to test this matter in court. But there are also 6 other organizations in civil society who made contact with us since yesterday morning with the publishing in the Sunday papers. as Sai, we will also have meetings with the lawyers again tomorrow. And it's not only about legal recourse locally in South Africa. If we exhaust the remedies in South Africa, we will probably go beyond that to the African Union Human Rights Court in Arusha and even beyond to the United Nations. For us, it is the principle that you cannot cap an entrepreneur on his turnover based on the color of skin.
And your understanding and appreciation of just looking at how operations are in your sector, your appreciation of the fact that the playing field is not level, that you also need to allow a barrier of entry that was never allowed to perform in your sector before to come in at a place where they also can, reap some of the benefits that most farmers are benefiting at the moment, what you would call, based on the color of your skin. What's your take on that, particularly as we are speaking about black farmers?
See, in our organization, we are working in the deep rural areas, specifically in the communal areas, on the profitability of the poorest and the smallest of farmers. And a huge part of that work is about getting farmers to link up to their markets in such a way that the enterprises can be profitable. Because a family farmer is not big or small, is not rich or poor, is not black or white, is not well established or a newcomer to the industry. What our outcry is about is that government is shifting its responsibility to create a class of profitable black farmers now to individuals. And we don't think that belongs in a proper democracy. Government has been busy with land reform now for 29 years, and there's very little to show for it. We want to know what happened to the Agri-BEE fund. How many billions had been spent on farmer development and through the Agri-BEE fund, the post-settlement grants in restitution, through the recapitalization programs, and through the proactive land acquisition strategies. Yet, there is pretty little to show for it. And that is not the fault of the average white commercial farmer or family farmer. The problem is with the approach of government in farmer development. We need to address the problem in the department, not out on existing family farms.
Dr. De Jager, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming on to the program and giving us your comments. Of course, that was Dr. Theo De Jager there from the Southern African Agri-Initiative, and he is the chairperson.